Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to another pod racing match for the day. This will be one of the final matches in the lower group of the group stage. DigitalUnity versus Mageius. Digital is currently, I believe, second place in the group, and looks like he will probably remain that way, as Solascalar is poised to take first. And Mageius is going to be looking for his first win of the group this match. I'm Naka, I'm joined here by Draco. Howdy there, Draco.
Yeah. Okay. Gonna start on Kooky today. We're doing Toy Dampener on Executioner Full Mirrored.
This should be a pretty wacky first track, being mirrored. Neither player should have much muscle memory here, so expect to see more crashes than normal.
And Toy Dampener is the track favorite for Executioner, which is why we are seeing him mirrored today.
Yeah, Mageius, big proponent of playing mirrored. It looks like Digital is playing with an AI, probably to break the rocks in the tubes for him. The AI will actually slam into some of the rocks.
Okay, now I think we're off for real.
Yeah, this should be the real one. Let's see how they manage this. Oh, Digital already with a crash, misjudging that turn.
Expect crashes with mirror mode. Everything's inverted.
Okay,
we got the
Mageius.
sick pause coming in.
Oh no! On the straightaway, and that'll put Mageius on the lower track.
It's actually faster with Toy Dampener.
Yeah, a little bit of a boon there. Normally, when you're playing with a pod with a longer boost, you'd go through the shortcut up the red carpet, but it's only a shortcut if you can boost the whole way.
Yeah. Only fully upgraded Bulls, Ben, Edo, Mahonic, and Mars can really pull it off. Going whole way through.
Really. Oh no! Wow, both of them just crashing in sync. Once again, that's just that muscle memory. Usually the tubes on Executioner are not as difficult as on the other Ubu 4 tracks, but just not remembering where or I guess having the positions of the rocks flipped is really messing with both of them.
Yeah. Though the track is so straight, it's not making me queasy to look at.
It's a little strange to have so much memory and whatnot built up, and then to see the track totally reversed.
Last year, Mageius did boot the train there, and that really made me queasy looking at it.
Alright, Digital cleaning it up at the start of this first lap. Looking at. Oh no, but boost down the hill! Ah, and that's not even a mirror mode thing, that just kills you no matter what. Mageius looking like about a good 20 or so seconds behind right now. Really needs to clean up these crashes on the more straight parts of the track. It looks like Mageius is on pretty low Whoa, that was odd. I thought you could survive boosting into the ground there.
My experience is that that's usually a death sentence.
You can see Digital cleaned that one way up. That was, what, about 11 seconds faster than his first lap? Pretty impressive how quickly players build up their muscle memory and start to learn something that's basically a totally new track.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Digital again trying to go for the red path, and the game telling him, no, go lower, it's faster, you fool.
Faster a toy. I'm amazed he survived that.
Mageius just now coming in to the start of his third lap. Alright, and this should be about the end of any potential crash spots for Digital, so he will take this one pretty handily. Mage just now coming into the second tunnel. Or excuse me,
That's the first tunnel. 447 for DigitalUnity.
Yeah, this low frame rate is really hurting Mageius. He's going all over the place in these tunnels.
Low frame rate is so terrifying with the tubes on Uber 4 tracks.
Right, you sort of have to strike a strange balance with them. If you're stuck at 60, you basically can't move in them at all. But if you're at too low a frame rate, you can actually crash into the walls just by holding a direction. It moves your pod too far.
Though the tubes on Execution are, I would say, are probably the least terrifying outside of the very first one that the red carpet path avoids.
True, though I don't know what I would do on mirror mode, but there is, you can basically, on normal mode, just hold up and left. So I guess on mirror mode, you'd hold up and right, and you dodge 99% of the rocks.
I found out that if you just point the stick down, you will dodge almost all the rocks, and then just 2 seconds, and then about 2 seconds prior to exiting the tube, let go of the controls and level off, and that avoids a good chunk of the risk of crashing on slamming into the ground but exiting that tube.
Alright, and we should see what the players' permabans are in a second here.
Death Row's Revenge.
Interesting pick. I wonder if Mageius just doesn't like that. I don't know that Digital is known for it.
Mageius a Speedway.
I think that makes a lot of sense for Digital. Just getting that short track out of there, because, I mean, if you make one mistake on that track and your opponent doesn't, it almost doesn't matter how fast you are. If you're going even similarly, you're going to lose.
Scrapper's Run. Well, this is interesting. Usually Mageius bans Death Row's Revenge and Abyss. And the Book to Train Course banned from Digital. Okay, this is the first Mageius match I've seen where Abyss is in play.
Which, if memory serves me, is actually something Digital likes going to. I think that the Abyss full track is one of his tracks that he's actually worked on. Dom, the first ban was Death Throws, or sorry, D-Throws. Okay, and Digital temp bans Abyss for Mageius. Mageius, of course, bans Ben Quaderneros. Pretty standard for him. And it looks like we are going to Ando Prime Centrum with no forces. Definitely a track Mageius is fond of. He tends to go here a fair amount, but should be something that Digital is pretty well prepped for. I would expect to see Digital snagging bulls here. At least I hope we see Digital going bulls. I'm not actually seeing any movement on his actual pod select screen. Oh, it says that he has selected a pod. Okay, there we go. Bulls for Digital. Good. That should be the fastest choice with Ben gone. And we'll see where Mageius ends up. Mageius, obviously known for playing Bullseye a lot, even though Bullseye is a much slower choice than some other similar pods, but was chatting in the speedrunning chats today, talking about maybe taking Mars, who would be a lot faster on most of these courses. Oh wow, Mageius taking Bulls himself. Bold choice. In theory, a faster pod than Bullseye or Mars even. But very, very unwieldy.
Really difficult to use.
It looks like Digital going back to buy even more track or even less traction. Wow, that's daring with bulls. I would probably be playing
Yeah,
this course on an R300 at 60 FPS, even with the hairpin. Maybe slightly lower FPS than that, but
yeah. Bulls is terrifying to use at low frame rates. Bull's Roar is just terrifying at low frame rates.
yeah, and I do worry a bit, especially for Mageius, just because of how unwieldy Bulls is. I wonder if he could actually get a faster time here with someone a bit easier to use. And when Digital going the hard way, you can actually so going left then up that ramp there is the fastest route, but if you go right, you're only losing in the realm of tenths over the course of the race, and it's much, much easier to hold the boost and not die. 24,600 with bulls here, Dom? I mean, you and Goof are the 24 FPS people, so.
I was the one who did from the beginning, being 64 stuck at 24 FPS.
Hey, and this is the real start. Digital, unfortunately, starting out with a couple of crashes here.
And we sync pause on a crash.
Well, where better to do it? Alright, Mages does know to take the hairpin, that's good, but crashes into it. Actually ahead, though, due to Digital's unfortunate start. Digital will bonk here pretty badly, too, costing him a lot of time. Oh, and another
Whoa!
crash. Not sliding hard enough.
I could see that crash coming with Mageius, that you can tell from the angle.
Yeah, if you just get tapped too hard one way, sometimes even if you survive the first hit, it's bad news anyway. And Digital has actually made up almost all of the time on the back of those crashes.
Now
and
he's gonna
better
pull ahead
boosting.
again because he's holding the boost all the way through. This is gonna be a close lap one. Mageius ahead by 7/10 of a second.
But seeing Digital being just so much more on top of it with the heat management here, that is the main component of course, any pod speed at any upgrade level is just their boost thrust, and so seeing Mageius not being able to hold as much boost means he's losing tons and tons of time.
And Bulls has the second strongest boost thrust in the game after Ben.
Digital, again, just nicking the little bump out into the road there. Both players taking this really difficult route. Digital actually tilting downhill, which does slow you down a very nearly insignificant amount. But at this point, we'll be solidifying his lead. A good 11 seconds ahead now is Digital. Bit slow through the hairpin for Digital, but no terrible bonks. Oh, and Mageius just not respecting the bump out on that railing enough.
Uh, 306.98 for Digital.
Not a bad final lap there for Digital. Yeah, Digital does have a lot of, I think, untapped potential as a runner. He plays pretty aggressively, which often ends up hurting him in these matches, but is also quite capable of putting up some very, very solid times. Second win on the board for Digital. Let's see where Mageius is taking us next. Still waiting on the temp ban of Racers, though. Really, we're temp banning Bull's Roar. Interesting. This could suggest a no upgrades force from Mageius, as Bull's Roar is the fastest pod with no upgrades. Or it could suggest that he wants to ban more racers with one of his forces. Digital will temp ban Zugga.
Okay, I'm guessing no upgrade or flap force coming.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good call. Mageius was really high on the merits of Flat Force.
The gauntlet. They're gonna use. Yes! Oh my
There it
god, spot
is.
on! Like
Yeah,
fastest
we
lap.
called it. Okay, well, this will be one of the slowest fastest laps, as Gauntlet is the longest track in the game by distance.
But also, this means you can use the fastest pod here in Ben.
Just reminding the players to set their race to have 4 laps so that we can track their third lap. So, just to explain for anyone who is watching and doesn't know about the fastest lap force, the players will be setting their game to run 4 laps on the gauntlet. This is so that we can see what their third lap time is. And then the winner will be whoever gets the fastest single lap time of their first 3 laps.
With Bull's band, you would be an idiot to not use anything besides Ben.
Yeah, Ben is not too difficult here, to be honest. Gauntlet is one of the more chill tracks, especially considering its position at the very end of the game.
Yeah, but Ben is so much faster than all the pods available to it because Beto and Mahonic run out of boost on the critical off-road portion. Mars might be the second fastest here because he can actually make it down that whole thing without stalling.
Yeah, you might be right there. Mars, one of the only pods who can contend with Ben's boost length. But certainly, the longer the tracks go, the more Ben's advantage becomes apparent.
Yeah, but Ben's advantage is even more extreme than usual here just because his boost duration is so long and the off-road shortcut so critical to this track on full. Dang, is that gauntlet from last year?
Oh, wow. 7:49 3-lap record. To be fair, Astor, a track where you're comfortable can be better than what makes sense. Though generally, I would tend to agree that the underdog is usually better off picking shorter tracks. All right, should be starting in a second here. Blubberfish, these are not new maps, and no, they're not forced to take the same pod racer, though every track there is one pod racer that's banned for both of them, so neither of them can take that one. But since Ben Quadraneros is not banned, and he's the fastest pod, they're both going to be using him. Okay, this should be Digital's real start.
I don't think it's worthwhile to do a sync pause here because we're not doing a free lap race. We're just doing fastest lap. Or is he actually still? Ooh, engine fire.
Yep, but just manages to avoid the rock death right before.
And
But so
Mageius
far,
apparently is still waiting for Botto in vain.
yeah, I've just pinged him again that he should go ahead and start. Digital looking a little squirrely here, but managing to keep it together. A decent bull turn.
Yeah.
And not really underheating, so that's a good sign.
Bull cut. Bull cut was demoted to a skip, so you're just seeing the full track now.
Right, no more jumping over that. Oh, and just clips the edge there.
It's a pretty easy def to do. Oh. Okay, Mageius is off. Okay, 156. 156.62 for digital.
Not a bad first lap for having a death and for going a strange route there with the shortcut. And yeah, this
no.
is Mageius' actual start.
Oh.
It looks like
Didn't
Digital
get the
sort
best
of
line.
knows. Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna make it. Oh. Did that.
Mageius went flying into a part of track I'm not sure I've ever seen before. Oh, and oh, Digital is so lucky he didn't crash there. Alright, will Mageius take the shortcut? Oh dear, he's
No,
not.
he's taking the long path.
Unfortunate, that's gonna add a lot of time. I think is actually harder than just taking the shortcut.
Yeah. And he's taking the long path among long paths.
Yeah, that is by far the longest route you can take. I don't know exactly how much time it loses, but I would guess it's in the realm of 10 or so seconds, maybe even
Yeah.
longer. Okay, Digital coming to the end of his second lap. Let's see what kind of a time we're going to get. 1:43.69.
That's actually not bad for Gauntlet Full.
Yeah, cleaned up a lot of his mistakes from the first lap.
Whoa!
Oh, and crashing. So it looks like that 143 is going to stand. Alright, shaky first lap for Mageius. He does clear out some rocks in the tunnels at least, so we'll see if that'll help him on his second lap. That is the one thing about these flap forces, is that he does still have a chance to get a better time now.
Mageius on his second lap.
Hey Bearforce, glad to see you. Glad to see some folks who had the game on the original console. That is a bizarre bug. Okay, keeping it together this time through this section of Mageius. Oh,
Engine
okay.
fire.
Yeah, catches fire, but dodged the rock, so at least there's no crash.
Still going the long way. For 146, so that 144, it stands for digital.
And it looks like bottom might have become fixed. Oh, and Magius going all the way around. That is
Oh, that
unfortunately
is
not meant to be a
so
360-degree turn.
already a 270, and he did a 360, sadly.
Just 90 degrees too many. Yeah, has to. We don't count the skip if you're crashing and going backwards. Thankfully. It is too bad that all of those bull cut skips are just no longer relevant.
236.83.
That is faster than his lap one time.
And they just are showing off the clear part of the path, the paved part of the pounded part of the path, because that's the part where the asteroids spawn. And if you stay off-road, they won't hit you. Oh, he's taking the second slowest path this time around. But for a second he was going to fall off of it.
Yeah, that is. This is the one thing about Magis that always stresses me out while I'm watching him. He's so wiggly.
Yeah. Or he's a lot less twitchy than he was the previous years.
That is true. He's been cleaning it up.
Oh my god, he almost did. He almost circled around again.
Oh, is that right, Dom? I was mostly referring to that last version that had been discovered, where you just ride right over the hill and slow down so you can go directly into the tunnel. That always looked pretty cool.
Oh, that 2 boost is so dangerous. If he was still in invincibility, he would have died there. And what is this time going to be? We have 231.44.
Okay, his fastest lap by 5 seconds. And yeah, I don't know how to say that name. Mageius? This was a bit of a stranger race, just because it was a fastest lap force. So the players were not competing on their 3-lap time and racing against each other in real time. They were just competing to get the fastest lap of 3. All right, let's see. Magius back against the wall now. What's he going to do with his final pick? I think we can probably expect to see another fastest lap force, given how positive Magius was on using it as a strategy. And he did have a fairly good point that, fastest lap means, you only have to not mess it up once in order to potentially beat your opponent. Whereas with a 3-lap, sort of races can become very one-sided very quickly in a 3-lap setting, where if one player crashes, all of a sudden it's over. Let's see what the temp bans are. I was surprised to see Mages not ban Ben. He's known for basically banning Ben on every track. Not a big fan of using the meta, and it's actually probably a pretty good strategy for him. Lets him use pods that he is more comfortable with without giving his opponent a huge advantage. Temp banding.
Bullseye of Warband.
So is this going to be Grabvine? Digital bans
Grabbing
Grabvine.
banned from Digital.
Very smart. So is this going to be Fire Mountain Rally then? That's the big
Fire Mountain
question.
Rally Flap.
The other longest course in the game?
Fastest lap again.
Yep. And I think that's probably what we're going to see Mageius using both of his, or all of his forces on for most of the tourney here.
Bunta Classic Flap.
Okay. So then that bullseye ban, well, Digital may actually stand a better chance at getting a good time here with Mars or Mahonic. Ben is pretty scary to use on Bunta Classic. Hovering on Neva Key.
He's the safest, but way slower.
And I wouldn't say he's so much safer than Mahonic that he'd be worth using here. Welcome to the stream, Fifth. Good to see you around. And Digital is locking in Ben, it looks like. Taking a higher traction upgrade, which is interesting. You typically... Actually, I don't know what the world record does here. I typically would think you want a mid-ish traction upgrade so that you can get around the hairpins easier. Well,
Digital going with Ben.
5260 says, Dom, Mageius hovering Mars. I think Mars would actually be a really good pick for him here. Would be a lot easier to use than Ben.
Yeah. Back when I
Well,
competed with Mike back in the day, a decade ago, we thought Bullseye was the fastest.
I can see how you'd get there. This track is one of the few you could say is in competition with Grabvine for being, of a similar difficulty. So taking Bullseye with the super high turn rate does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It just so happens that Ben can just barely do everything on this track, so he does end up being faster.
Yeah. Ben, Bulls, Mahonic, Elon, Mars, and Bullseye all really solid here.
Hovering Elan for a second there. What is Mageius gonna pick here? Alright, going with Mars, it looks like. I'm glad to see that. That'll be a lot faster than his favorite pick of Bullseye, while also being similarly easy to control. Mars is a very smooth pod to play the game with.
Yeah. Very well-rounded pod.
The only kind of sketchy thing is how wide he is.
Yeah. Though he usually handles better and turns sharper than most pods far narrower than him.
Right, which more than makes up for the width. Alright, potentially final race here. Can Mageius clean it up enough?
Oh, he's taking the long path. That's not good. Here we go.
Okay, Digital taking the jump, taking the slightly longer version of the jump. You can cut a little bit more. Mageius taking
the long path.
One of them, anyway. I don't know if this is the longest or what. There are about 4 different paths you can go there. Okay, Digital pretty good through that chicane there. That can be a pretty tricky section. And it looks like he knows to go off-road, but doesn't know when to start the boost for it. Okay, and Mageius taking That looks like the second longest path of the three forked routes there. Oh! Digital, gotta be careful there. You can actually crash into the ceiling with that boost if you're not careful. Will he go for the slot? He will.
As in the Tuscan Dune turn, this is one of the most dangerous parts of any track in the game.
Yeah, having to dodge those fully RNG fires, and then, wow, just about dodges the sandcrawler while it's turning around. You don't see that very often. Alright, what's this lap one for Digital gonna be?
153.75. Oh! Still crashed, but I thought for a second he was going to take the really catastrophic crash.
Yeah, depending on where you can crash, or depending on where you crash there, you can get dropped down to the lower, slower track. Glad to see him avoiding that at least.
Yeah.
Digital looking alright through the arches there. A little slow, no boosting, but that is certainly faster than dying.
Oh, that was a really... Whoa! Oh, he's forced onto the lower path with the fire. Oh my god, was that a close call?
Now let's see if Mageius can make the second lap do a bit more work than his first one.
This is gonna be way faster for Digital. 151. Oh! He took the catastrophic death!
It's gonna back up to the shortcut. Interesting. Oh,
And he almost made
barely
it!
makes it.
He made it! He barely made it! So I'm pretty sure his second lap record is gonna stand.
Almost certainly, and did manage to shave off almost exactly 2 seconds from his first lap there. Oh, and Mageius not noticing he had a warning on his engine boosts and immediately crashes. That will happen to you if you ever take too much engine damage and it starts to say warning. Boosting will instantly kill you.
DigitalUnity about to lap Mageius if it weren't a fast lap attempt.
I'd say something about the sync, but they actually are basically synced anyway. And he has now lapped Mageius.
But it doesn't matter since you're going for the fastest lap rather than 3 laps here.
This is true.
Okay.
As we suspected, that 151 will stand. Let's see what Mageius's lap 2 time looks like. Okay, that was faster than his first lap.
253.83.
Right. Oh. Fewer crashes, at least. Well, I say that right as Mageius crashes, but fewer crashes in this first section for Mageius, at least.
Oh my god.
Oh, and clipping the lip of the Sarlacc pit there. I think that's meant to be the Sarlacc pit, right?
That is the Sarlacc pit. Pit of Carcoon, actually, in Star Wars lore. Actually, if you watch Return of the Jedi, and you'll if you watch Return of the Jedi, you actually will see that Sarlacc pit. I think it might have also reappeared in the Book of Boba Fett recently.
Yeah, it does play a fairly prominent role in there. It's just odd, since that little hole in the ground looks tiny compared to what you see in Return of the Jedi. Still, a nice little nod.
I've come to use that Sarlacc pit and the Pit of Carcoon as a marker for starting the skip on this track. Because the most reliable way to do that skip... Oh my god.
Mageius just powering through with the invulnerability, does not care that the Sandcrawler exists.
Yeah. Okay.
And final lap for Mageius.
And he's
What's the
coming
time
in
gonna
with
be?
a 244.88.
Shaves almost 10 seconds off for, I guess, 9 seconds about exactly.
And with this, match is over.
Yeah, Digital takes it 4-0 and handily keeps his spot and second place in the group here.
Yep. And DigitalUnity completes his... It becomes the first player to complete all of his matches, ending in a second place of 4 wins and 1 loss.
How did their Digital?
Digital?
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Hey, Mageius.
Hey, I wish I could have used Ben for that first race.
Yeah, Ben for that first race might have been more comfortable for you, but I wanted to do Toy just to be silly.
Oh, I know that, but still, that was a fun one.
It was.
The crowd liked it. Please tell me someone actually clipped the one section of Gauntlet Lap 2 for me.
I heard your
Well,
bowl
that's
was
going in the
interesting,
highlight
but I
reel for
didn't
sure.
see it.
Did someone clip that?
I don't think it's clipped, but we'll probably snag it out of the VOD.
Yes. Was this the bowl where you went 360 around?
I have
You
no
did
clue
bowl
on that one.
twice?
No, I think
Yeah.
that was later in that one. No, I'm talking about the one where coming out of like the first major tunnel, which is the rock open area, like legitimately go flying, yank myself around, nearly get hit twice with rocks, and literally managed to save it with a landing.
Wow.
If I find that one, I will definitely try to clip that and post that in the Discord or the community. Well, it's it was literally one of those is how the hell did I survive that?
And then another gem was seeing you go around the bowl twice. You went 360, and then what's
Well,
two
that
times?
was more. Well, that was more the whole fact of trying to not crash, fell off, rode up on the one thing, and legitimately got flung back to the other side. I think. What would you rather take the crash and actually have to do something like that again, or at least try to save it? Nah, you can at least see that I have improved some.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Some better times for you.
It's just more just getting that fine-tuned piece on it, just getting it's I've gotten down a lot of the stuff. It's now just getting the last little bits of the tracks.
I'll be honest, your pick for Bunta Classic was a bit threatening. That's my worst track.
Oh, hey.
So anybody looking to counterpick me in the near future, just
I
take me
s-
there.
I should have gone with I should have actually allowed Bullseye on that one. I went with Mars, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like I survived it, but I really should have kept Bullseye because even then, I've done the track with Toy and but that's been a while back. But still, I should have kept that one.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yes, it is, but it was still a fun race overall. Gauntlet, I'm a little out of practice on. Executioner, I have been practicing some because it makes a good track to actually work on controlling, and it's better than something like Grapevine or the Boom Tub for just like if you need to fine tune controls.
Fun fact: I was practicing Neva Key on Grabvine just as a counter pick if I ended up on the back foot during this.
Yeah,
Oh my
Um,
god.
I do that a lot.
oddly enough, I can actually pilot Neva Key pretty easily if I had thought about it.
It's when I saw you ban Bullseye, I looked at that and I thought, yes, my strategy. Ban Bullseye, take me to Grabvine, Willie. Not today.
My smartest thing that I've learned is, you started all this so far, pick the fast lap because at least that way I have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more the whole fact if I screw up big time, at least lap 1 or 2, I at least have the third lap and then I can just okay, where are the stuff that I need to remember?
Fast lap is good for people who are confident in their IL flap times, but not their IL3 lap times.
I mean, I've been getting decent on a lot of them, or better than I've been, so it's more that I'm more confident in just, can I actually string together one solid lap versus having to fill 3 laps together.
That's exactly what I mean. If you're confident in your ability to get a good fast lap versus your ability to get a good 3 laps consecutively,
Yeah, that's...
the flap force is really powerful for that. So I'm expecting to see that get a lot of use later down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, glad to see it coming out more.
I mean, hey, did you catch earlier's race? The earlier match?
I need to still watch that. I didn't have a chance to watch it, and I couldn't because I had to prepare for this match, and it went and I couldn't have watched the whole thing in time to do commentary for it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was a fast lap in that one.
Ooh.
I'm not telling which track.
Sounds like fun.
Oh, it was one of those, it's just like I caught that part of it. I highly recommend all the viewers out there, go check that one out.
Yeah, definitely that match between Dom and King Beandip is not one to miss, and we will have more pod racing for you all coming up very soon. Let me just check what the next match is going to be.
Does that mean I'm out of group phase?
You're on a group phase. You're done, Digital.
Oh,
Oh.
good. I can take a few days off. Go take a nap, get a sandwich.
Yeah, congratulations. You look like you're going to be a shoo-in for second place in the group behind Zelascalar. And speaking of Zelascalar, that'll be the next match coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then there will be another match on Saturday of Metallica versus King Beandip. So definitely stick around for those. If you are interested in getting tournament updates, we highly recommend joining the Discord where you can see all of the tournaments matches coming in real time. GG's again to the players, and thanks again to Speed
GG's
Gaming for letting us do this.
I had fun. Digital, hopefully you did as well.
Yeah, I had a great time.
All right, thanks for the fun match, everybody.
Bye all.
Take care out there, everybody.
Take care. Good
May the
luck.
force be with you.
Rainbow Force be with you.